of the present without forgetting the future. And this based in three main pillars: economic development, environment, and social. So, if we want to talk about sustainability, please don't talk about one of the three pillars. They are one piece that we have to take in charge always together. Because sometimes we talk about social sustainability, sometimes we talk about environmental sustainability, but if we do that, we have a problem, because maybe could make us to go to unintended negative impacts. So here, when you join environment, social, like health and safety, and so on, well-being, human rights, and so, like my colleague Sigrid said about human rights and, plus, you have to join all the concepts. There are three pillars. We cannot talk about sustainability if we forget economic development. Remember that if a company has no benefits, it's not a company and cannot carry on. Environment, and I will pass through because I want to try to be on time. For example, we have to know that many of the related diseases that are related to occupational health are coming from environment causes. And some of them, and that's one of the main problems about occupational health, is that not all the diseases are considered occupational disease. But, for example, between 3.2 until 0.6, many of the cancers that are produced on the European Union are caused by occupational disease. So it's important to have, because some of them are produced by chemicals. That this means always environment, not only health and safety, it means environment too. About digitalization, we have to think that digitalization is not, our last goal. And if we only focus on digitalization, environmental sustainability or climate change will be solved. According to some studies, 3.7% of the global emission of CO2 in our world was producing about digitalization. Take into account that to send an email, it costs 3 grams of CO2. So if we how much info you send an email, that image and so on, so much CO2 you are sending to the atmosphere. So now, if you want to send a photograph by WhatsApp, think in the world and think what are you going to do. And why should companies care about sustainability? Because the future is now. Young people are taking care about what is going to happen with their world, what's happening with the earth, what's happening with my future, what's happening if I have no natural resources in 20 years, what's happening if we have droughts or we have floods, what's happening if we have no water, what's happening with the fires. So think that Generation Z will be in 2040 our mainly, of the 16% of our workforce. So if you don't take into account not only your consumer or buyers, always your employees that will be young people jumping into your company, you will have no workforce to take care of. Because they will not want to work with you. Because you are not taking care of the main point of they are taking care. So sustainability and the strategy of the companies should be based on sustainability and means social, like health and safety, well-being, environment, and economic development. And these are, an example of what is the role to employees when you have sustainability implemented. They are more happy, they work with more productivity, they have less illness, and they really are engaged with the company they belong to. So it's important to take in account for the companies, for the CEOs, and for the managers that are, doing the strategy plan for the company to take care about that. What this means environment management is to take care about which impact has activities on the environment, but not taking into account climate change or to save the rainforest of the Amazon. No, taking care about what impacts my activities will have in my community. If I have contaminated the water because of my activity, this water is the one who is going to be drink my children. This one is going to be, if I have many emissions of any chemical, it's going to be, breathed by my employees. It's going to be breathed my employees. So what we have to talk when we talk about environmental management is to think which activities that I'm doing are really affecting to my employees and the surroundings of my company. And now, Vision Zero environment. And this is why we think that we need to develop this guide. Because ENSPO was so engaged about the environment, we believe that there is a very strong link between environmental and safety, and there are many professionals that are working in those fields. So in 2020, during pandemic, we decided to go for an international group with experts in health, safety, and environment. We get people from universities and we get professionals. So we can join the knowledge and the practice to create the new Vision Zero Environment Guide. But the main point of the guide is that we are following point by point the 7 golden rules. So the companies that are engaged with Vision Zero health and safety can follow up the environment so easily for them, because it's so easy to understand how to implement Vision Zero Environment Guide when you are really used to work with Vision Zero health and safety guide. So as always, Vision Zero philosophy, people is at the core. So with the environment and the well-being, we are covering all the aspects that employees and companies should take care: health, well-being, safety, and environment. But don't be wrong. When we talk about environmental work, we are not talking about how to do big actions to preserve or to prevent from climate change. We need to build, we say in Spain that Rome was not built in one day. It was made step by step. So don't think to make really big things. Start from the beginning, from the easy things. And one of the easy things you can find in Golden Rule number 1, CEO compromise, CEO leadership. And in the 7 Golden Rule number 7, with the employees and the training and so on. Our targets is so easy. We want not only the big companies, but the small and medium ones, and the ones who want never tackle, environment in their strategic management. We want people to start thinking about which are the benefits for their employees to manage environmental work. Which are the benefits for the company when we try to incorporate the concept of environment in our strategic plans? Which means for us, when we tackle environment, health, safety, well-being, human rights, we are on the way to be sustainable companies. And that is the future. It doesn't matter if you are in Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin or America. The future is to be sustainable. And we have here with Vision Zero the more practical tools to create it. have the pleasure that Hitachi Rail, the big company, Japanese company, have been one of our first pilot projects. They are certified by ISO 14. They have implemented a very strong and strict environmental policy inside the company. They have EMAS implemented too. But you know what is the main thing he said, the responsible to me? I love vision zero environment. It's easy to understand, not only for the CEO, for the middle management, for the employees. And it's really made for the first time after 20 years of being certified with other certification that my employees are going to be engaged with the environment. So this is the core of Vision Zero. This is the good point of Vision Zero, that CEO employees and all the companies are really engaged with the idea to be part of the development of the company. You can see maybe it's not so big, but only with taking leadership, about the first golden rule, they detected that they have a problem. They are not really engaged. We implement the guide in 5 plants they have in Italy. And they have a problem because not everyone is really engaged. Not all the management of different levels of the plants are really taking care about to consider environment one of the main points of their management. There is a lack of training. There is a lack of engagement coming from the employees with the strategic plans of the company. So finally, what they see is that we have a lack. Even though we have certifications, even though we have a lack of the main point, engagement. We need the engagement of the people of our company, because if not, we are never really going to achieve our goals in the environment. So you can apply this with health, safety, and then you can consider and combine the two guys without any problem, because they are really the same. It's so easy to ask to the employees and to the CEO, what would you consider about health and safety? What do you think about your environment? And sometimes, when you look around, the employees will give you the answer of the questions that you maybe are not realizing before. For example, here, I can put an example, Solis. If here in this hotel, the people in charge of the maintenance of the swimming pool, when they are working with hydraulic chloric acid, they spill the bottle on the grass. What happens? What happens with that? First, we have to take care of the employees, of course, and we have to put some preventive measures. But if we don't take care about this grass, the seagrass and the giraffes, that it's so nice to come here and see, they will never find another grass because it's not going to grow up. The soil will be contaminated. The trees can die. So it's all engaged, And if there is not taking care of this kind of, So just to finish, this is, some of the ideas that coming from Hitachi, engagement from the people. We have to improve the training of our employees, and we have to improve the communication about our environmental strategy. So the future is now. Are you ready to join us? So thank you very much for everything. It has been a pleasure.
Muchas gracias, Maria. We can see that the 7 Golden Rules is a very good base for all these projects. And we come now to our third presentation of another project. And I asking Helmut English to come to me, I think it is not necessary to present you. You are known in German, we are saying a colored dog, but I think in English it is like a sore thumb. Yeah? So you have the third project, what you want to present, and this is based.
Did you say something friendly about me now or not? Yes, please start the presentation. A very good This is good. Yeah, a very warm welcome and good morning from my side as well. In this presentation, we planned to have Mr. Ho Seong-hin here from Singapore. He is the president of the International Association of the Labor Inspections of the whole world. But unfortunately, at the last minute, he could not make it. He had problems to travel. So I replace him here this morning, because we have been together in this working group to develop a guideline on Vision Zero for the labor inspection. Who has influence on safety and health at the workplace? There are the internal stakeholders in the company, the employer, the managers, the workers, the safety, the OSH specialists you have in the company, okay. But then there comes input or influence from outside. So, and I would say the labor inspectors are number one who can have influence on the level of safety and health in the workplaces. Therefore, in this ISA strategy, in the ISA movement, we think we must involve all those stakeholders, and this is the reason that we work on this guideline for the labor inspectors. Yeah, there are challenges. I think maybe you can confirm this. Labor inspection needs answers to always limited resources. Enforcement, this is number one. Many labor inspections in the world, we enforce the law, but offer they as well help, offer they assistance or advice at the same level? This is a challenge. Globalization and multinational companies is a challenge for the labor inspection, because the companies are global. They say in this country you require that, in another country the labor inspection says this is okay. Yeah? So this is another discussion. The global supply chains, we heard the discussion, and also new forms of employment, so mobile work, self-employed. So labor inspection cannot use only the traditional way to get in contact with the workers or with the employees. And also digitalization. And always the challenge of the small and medium enterprise. So a long list of challenges. What can be the role for labor inspectors in Vision Zero? This is, if we look to the ILO Convention C081, which is ratified by most countries in the world, so we have to have labor inspection in the company. And then we come to the discussion enforcement or advice or enforcement plus advice, so both. But if we read Article 3 in this convention of the ILO, we can read the inspection has to secure the enforcement of the legal provisions relating to the conditions of work, safety, health and welfare. So enforcement. And chapter B is to supply technical information and to supply advice to employers and workers. So I think it's clear labor inspections have both duties to deliver in their work. If we look to what the International Association of Labor Inspection says to that question, I found this message from the former IALI president, Kevin Myers, and he says, labor inspection, he describes all these challenges for the labor inspections, a lot of threats and opportunities, and he says we must find ways to use the resources we have in the best way to deliver our duty, and therefore labor inspection expect employers to adapt principles of continuous improvement, and the same applies to the function of labor inspection. So they must develop, they must use new tools, and they should have these tools in their toolbox. So to summarize this question, my observation is long ago or in many countries, we still have too much concentration on enforcement. The inspector comes with a long list, with a long checklist and says, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, yeah? But he doesn't say how to make it better. So I think the challenge is a little advice. I don't say no advice, but most of the activities, enforcement activities. And I think the future should be both in the same level, yeah, together. We don't say cancel enforcement, we must enforce the law. So it changes, the role of labor inspection changes from identifying only deficiencies or defects to focus on a good organization and to influence and motivate also behavior of workers and of managers, to introduce safety management systems. Integrated systems, we think today, are better, not isolated systems. And I think where we have to go to is to support the prevention culture, and this is Vision Zero. So the role of labor inspectors should move from deficit orientation to proactive advice. Vision Zero is an offer for labor inspectors and inspections to increase their impact, their sustainable impact, and I think also to increase sustainable compliance of companies with the law. So we have this project to develop that guide for the labor inspectors. There's a partnership between IALI and ISA, and this is just the chapters. The guideline is in the final step of development, and we will publish a first version at the World Congress in Sydney as well. So there is a chapter, why do we offer this guideline? We describe these challenges, we describe the role of the inspectors as promoters of a culture. Yeah? I think this is an upgrade of the role of labor inspectors. And we describe why Vision Zero and the toolbox. And then we have, this is the next point, is the most, maybe the most interesting element of this guideline. There is a prevention culture, we called it prevention culture quick check, only for labor inspectors, but on the basis of Vision Zero of the 7 golden rules. And then there is also a chapter to describe the benefits we see. And this is to give you an idea how this quick check will work. So we have 2 questions for every golden rule, so 14 questions in total, and the labor inspectors should have a rating from 1 to 5, how he estimate the level of this question in the company, and then we summarize it, and then the labor inspector will have a result. Where is the level of culture in that company? Is it just beginners, yeah, or are they advanced or starters, or really did they reach it to have a sustainable culture? So we see a lot of benefits for the inspectors. Vision Zero and the 7 golden rules harmonize with national legislation. So I think this can be used in any country. There is never a conflict. I haven't seen it because the 7 golden rules are simple principles, and they fit to any national legislation. You must not change the national legislation. Second, Vision Zero creates attention by the political leaders. I think we have seen it yesterday. It's a very good example here in Zambia. 3, we offer an umbrella for the labor inspection activities and unite all stakeholders. So all should speak the same voice, not to confuse employers, but to have the same message from different sides coming to the employers and to the decision makers. 4, Vision Zero addresses the common sense, easy, and your brain. It is a simple and clear approach. It is easy to understand. 5, it is emotional and touches labor inspectors as well as the stakeholders. I mean, what are we doing? We care for people, we care for life. So this is our duty, and this is a very important duty, maybe the most important duty we have in a country. 6 is Vision Zero supports better image of and acceptance of the labor inspection, which is sometimes a problem. I know situations where in my own life, yeah, where they say, be careful, the inspector comes. Yeah? So they fear the inspector sometimes. This is wrong. We have the same game, the same targets, yeah, the same aims we follow. So we can change it by this. And 2 more, Vision Zero creates success and efficiency as it supports small companies and big companies. And it starts the process of continuous improvement. It's not a switch we must move, it's a process. And finally, it creates a positive attitude to OSH. It formulates one clear goal and starts a movement for a better world in the workplace. So let me conclude. Really, this collaboration of all stakeholders, this is the future, and the labor inspections of the world and the labor inspectors have a very important role to play, and we should unite and we should work together. And I have an offer, so when we publish this guideline, maybe Zambia can be the first country to implement it, to test it, to have a training for the inspectors. So if you are willing to work with us, we are open to do this here and to support you from ISA's side. Thank you.
Thank you, Helmut, for your presentation. But what we heard before is future is now. So we have the collaboration here, I think so. Yeah. Now we are on the end of this session, but I have another highlight. When I'm looking to my program, we are going now to the gala dinner. Is it correct? No. Okay, it's a mistake. No, but I have another highlight. I will give a warm welcome to Bernd Reichel. He is the senior technical specialist in prevention and social security and is coming from Geneva. The problem was that he cannot catch the flight, the connecting flight, and so he come today. But you have the floor, Bernd, for your remarks. No? Yeah, 4 minutes only now. Yeah, please.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Good morning. You all good? Yes? Okay, I came a little bit too late, as Jens has already said, and I'm supposed to give an opening statement to this conference. So, with a day of delay, I'm sending you the greetings of the ISA Secretary General, Mr. Marcelo Caetano. ISA is extremely proud to be here, and if I look around, you know, it's actually really a great commitment. We just heard commitment is important. We heard yesterday that international cooperation is important, national cooperation is important, and enterprise implementation is important. Yeah? And what you have already seen, I don't want to talk directly into it, otherwise it makes the yeah. I'll try not to do the So what you've already seen is that we have a lot of tools. We have all these guides, labor inspection, environment, the 7 golden rules. We have sectoral guides. It's all there. We have training, you know, we have commitment, global commitment. We have 16,000 plus supporters of Vision Zero. We have whole communities that have been activated. We have great results. You've seen these implementation reports, but it doesn't stop at the presentations that you've seen yesterday. We have results in Malaysia where there are over a reduction of accidents of over 80% in the commuting area. We have reductions in Europe, in Luxembourg, with 15 to 20% of reduction in the accident frequency rate. And so Vision Zero is a success, and Vision Zero works. I think this is the most important message that I have for you all. So every one of you, I don't know all your professional background, your family background, but all of you can apply the 7 golden rules in your private life, in your professional life, and in your role as advocates of Vision Zero in the world. And this is the most important message, and I believe that Africa, that Zambia is a great place to take that message forward and to spread it. So Africa is a priority. And besides the collective commitment, of course we have international commitment, and we have all these networks set up. You heard about a business council, a Danish business council, but we also have an African council, an African Vision Zero network. And because we're short of time, and because I'm only allowed to speak 4 minutes, I'll leave it here. But I'd like to call the representative of the African Vision Zero network to come on stage, please, if she's here. Yes. Because the African Vision Zero network has been part and instrumental in organizing this conference, and we need you, all of you, to be similar actors, not only in Africa, but we have similar players all over the world to spread the message of Vision Zero. And Elizabeth, this is, please come on stage, yes. Good. So this is for you to spread the message of safety, of health, and of well-being. So give a warm round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much, Bernd. Especially keeping the 4 minutes. Excellent, thank you. One speaker, I think is missing. Hakim Dixon, are you in the room? I can't see you. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, it's a different cap. than yesterday, so I couldn't recognize you. So I would like you to come to the floor to give your welcome speech for the morning. Welcome, a big applause for Hakim. I hope you can keep the 15 minutes.
Good morning to everyone. I think I'm very happy to be back in Zambia. And my first experience wasn't that too bad. Now I think I'm even more in love with Zambia. But if you give me Zambia citizenship, I'll stay right now. Let me start. The impact of Vision Zero in Africa. Let me take you a little bit back. When I went to Singapore on the World Congress, I think it was 2018 or something like that, I'm not sure again. And Vision Zero was launched. I was happy. I did a presentation at the World Congress, and we were asked at that time that everybody should go back to their different countries to launch Vision Zero. That's why I was able to meet all these major speakers here. Then, when I got home, I was able to launch Vision Zero in Lagos, Nigeria. At that time, I was the Director General, CEO, Lagos State Safety Commission, the only safety in sub-Saharan Africa that has to do with regulations for the entire safety in Nigeria. Then, and I said to myself, I can't do this alone. So, we're able to now attend Vision Zero in Côte d'Ivoire. And that's when I met Dr. Elizabeth and few of the Vision Zero players here. And I spoke to the ISA, I think it was the ISA, forgotten his name, Lewinsky or whatever his name is at that time. And I said, we need help. This young lady, Dr. Elizabeth, please, can you come? I only have 15 minutes, so my own is more of a drama. Everybody has been speaking, and we're all watching. Look at us. So, Dr. Elizabeth, and I spoke to the head at that time, and I said, the only way for us to implement Vision Zero for the African, she's vast in safety than I. I'm just an accountant with a CPA, a certified public accountant. By politics, I was elected as a local government chairman, as the mayor, then an appointment as the director general. I'm like, what is safety? Then I started learning safety from the accounting section. But today, since that day I promised I would never leave safety alone. So when I met her and I said, you lead me. So you be the president of African Launch of Vision Zero. Abi?
Vision Zero Network.
Yeah, no. We had the name. You know, at that time, it was, for you to lead the entire Africa. The- yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Can you pronounce it?
The Secretary General of ISA is the one who had a meeting with us, and I was appointed as the chairperson, which is president, and he was also appointed as my vice. Therefore, we need more members to come on board so that you could be in the executive.
So the